Finally, we are here. It's Saturday, the day of the recording, and the pop-up show is actually on Sunday. But that allows us to put out this prediction and allow people to hear it. So let's get into this pop-up show. A match card of 10. Uh let's go through it one by one. I do have our PLE records on display here.
Yeah, I
It's not going to
noticed.
change much. It's pretty good. It's going to be obvious eventually when we get Cole to be on this episode as a,
Mhm.
as a third host. We'll have some, actual diversity in these standings right now. But right now, I'm 0-1. I lost SummerSlam. You were 1-0. You won SummerSlam. So we got a big card that we should be able to figure out, like how I feel like it's gonna be. We'll see how diverse our predictions are when we get through this.
Mhm.
Let's start off with the pre-show match: Chris Statlander and Stokely Hathaway versus Will Nightingale and Tohiro Ishii in a mixed tag match. And the winning team will choose a stipulation match between Willow and Statlander at All Out. Who you got?
I just think it's funny. Stokely Hathaway's in the match. Like that's where I think
Right.
it's uh not truly because it's just a stipulation match. 'Cause I feel like Willow is obviously the bigger star here, and I think she can take because she's not taking the pin here. You have to excuse me. I just got to talk myself through it through my thinking process. But no, I
My
guess
my
I'll call it
logic,
Chris Statlander. I'll call it Chris Statlander will win
yeah. I
because
mean, my logic
like
in
it's
this is that.
just.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say Willow has beat her already, so that's where it's just she's got to get a win somewhere for this feud to logically continue. You know what I mean? And it's just a stipulation setting match. It's not like any titles on the line or anything, which makes it a lot more believable. So yeah, I'm going Chris Statlander
Yeah, my
and
logic to go
Stokely.
with Chris Statlander is like I don't know what stipulation Willow would put. She doesn't seem like the one to be giving out a stipulation. She seems more in the position to be the one to be placed in a stipulation.
Mm.
So that's why I kind of give the edge to Chris Statlander because I feel like Chris Statlander is probably going to be. It's going to make it seem like it's going to make Will Nightingale look like she's in a more difficult position when they get to All Out. And so it just, I think Will is going to come out at the winning at the end of it, but we'll see how that plays out. But yeah, both of us Chris Statlander, so we're even right now. Next match, we got a four-way ladder match. A four-way London ladder match for the AEW World's Trios match. The Patriarchy versus the Bang Bang Gang versus House of Black versus Pac and the Deadpool, Blackpool. I said Deadpool, Blackpool Combat Club. Who you got? This interesting.
I think it's funny that you said it's a London ladder match specifically.
Yeah, it says four-way London ladder match.
That's funny. I just how they just specify things. I'm like, all right, what makes it a London ladder match then? I'm like, they're gonna have Big Ben as the ladder, like
Yeah,
what I'm saying? Them climbing up the clock. Um, just to keep this short, I'm going House of Black.
I'm going to go. I mean, do you have any explanation?
Absolutely not. I actually don't. So I just like the only explanation I'll give you is just the fact that I should be is that they've been around the trios titles like
Mhm.
forever without having them. That's all.
Okay.
Like this is me saying they're due. You know what I'm saying? They're beyond due. Like
Yeah.
because out of this, I will tell you, in my opinion, like the patriarchy are definitely the most well built. And then you got Bang Bang Gang, Like with them, those are the two favorites for sure because Bang Bang Gang, they were stripped of like the unified trios championships for no fucking or not no reason, but because Jay White got hurt. So they got stripped, and then that's when Patriarchy won it. So they kind of have their own internal rivalry happening. I would like to see House of Black come in there and just like throw a wrench in both of those teams' plans. That's what I'm thinking. And I'm pretty sure they haven't. I'm pretty sure they haven't won them before or any belts. They might have, but it's escaping me.
That's a good rationale. I again, I don't have much context, but I'm just gonna go with Pac and Blackpool Combat Club. Even though I do think maybe Okada interferes and fucks with Claudio, so
Hmm.
maybe that takes them out. But I don't know. That seems like a pretty formidable squad, and I think those guys, both especially like Pac and Wheeler Yuta, like Wheeler was just in a match with Swerve, on the main event. Pac, he had some type of rivalry with somebody recently. I can't remember, but they've been in positions where I think each minute one of these men have been in positions recently where I'm like giving them the AEW World Trios Championship would be the next move. So I'll go with Pac and the Blackpool Combat Club.
But
So our first differing opinions. Next, tag team championship triple threat. Bucks, FTR, the Acclaim. I'm gonna go with the Acclaim. I think
okay,
they seem pretty desperate just from like their promos the last couple weeks. That I'm like, I think they're gonna pull it out. I think they're gonna pull it out.
yeah, I'm gonna
And this also shows you
go.
like I don't keep up with AEW, so I'm probably gonna lose most of these AEW matchups.
Yeah, and like I said, even like the ones that I care about the most, like those are very well written. Like the top four on this
Yeah.
card, those are still all 50-50 to me. So like basically. But for myself, I'm gonna go. I think because I feel like the Young Bucks can lose the titles. Like, uh, do the Acclaimed win them back? Because I really don't feel like FTR does. I'll go. I'll go Young Bucks.
Okay.
What the hell? All right, there we go.
Casino Gauntlet.
Yeah, Casino Gauntlet prediction.
I don't have a really prediction. Yeah, Ricochet would be a good one.
That's the prediction for me. Ricochet debut because I don't, Casino Gauntlet is it's their Money in the Bank basically, or not Money in the Bank, but they get a title shot for it. So it's like, all right, who could be in the back that actually earned a title shot, basically, or you can believe could get a title shot if you want to catapult them up, real quick. But I don't know who that could be. I mean,
John Moxley.
that's a good one. Ain't seen Moxley in forever. He's been out,
I'll
so
go
that's a
Moxley.
that's a good one. Yeah, that's a good one. I could
I'll
see
go Moxley.
Hangman. I could see
That
Hangman.
Hangman's a good one too.
Um, yeah,
And maybe that gets a Hangman Moxley rivalry because maybe
yeah.
Hangman thought like this is my time. Because it just seems weird to have Ricochet debut and immediately get to
A title shot. Yeah. No, I
title
just
shot.
think, yeah, he's not winning it. I just think he'll be in it. Hopefully. So
But
I
you're
got Hangman as the winner.
to win. Okay.
Yeah, that's why I put the slash there. Hangman's the winner, but Ricochet.
Uh, Hook Jericho. I'm keeping it short. Hook. I'm always picking
Yeah.
Jericho.
Yep. I agree. It is Hook for sure.
Osprey MJF. Where's All Out?
Mm,
Where's All Out? Is All Out
all out.
international? Yeah,
That's
is
a
that
good
international
question.
as well?
I'm not sure. That's the thing, though. When you think about All In, because All In and All Out are like two of their big four, but it's literally like part one and part two, like of the same pay per
Yeah.
view cycle, basically. So it's like one leads into the other.
All Out's in Illinois,
Illinois, Chicago. All right.
Hoffman Estates. So wherever Hoffman Estates is. Does the hometown guy win?
I
Does
really
the
want to.
American Championship last for a few more weeks?
I think. Well, yeah. I think because, like I said, I think it's literally just a calendar year thing where it's like, all right, yeah, we're good with this at least until like November, like election day.
Yeah.
Um, and then bringing up All Out, that also leads me to believe like, I think MJF can retain this. We'll get it back. I mean, honestly, going into it, I'm like, MJF has been such an asshole that I'm like, yo, you're really pegging right now on like how much you should be like getting away with for like as much of a fuckboy as you've been. You know what I'm saying? Talking about easy dub after wrestling for an hour, like just being like the most arrogant guy. But that's the only thing that could like justify MJF even more is like beating him in front of his hometown. You know what I'm saying? Because we all know that Will Ospreay is gonna be AEW champion, not even just the international champion. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna go MJF with a Ricochet debut.
Okay,
Ricochet debuts heel. He
that's
associates
great. Yeah,
he
debuting.
associates with MJF. And I think part of
That's
it maybe works with MJ. Maybe Ricochet also eventually getting the. I think eventually it's just all a ploy to just kind of like show Ricochet is just like this master manipulator.
no, that's what's up, and that's also like high key the like probably the number one um like dream match people were talking about was or not number one, but like at least for Ricochet would be Will Ospreay. So like him
Yeah.
coming in and interfering in the match that just works perfectly. If you just want to get
Yeah,
that,
you interfere, cost them the match. You
yeah,
align with MJF, right? And you
hmm
have Ricochet and MJF standing in the ring over Will Ospreay's broken body in his home
yeah,
country, and it's like, oh, okay, Ricochet just came in as the biggest heel. You get a Ricochet Will Ospreay match at All Out,
hmm
right? At some point, you can have Ricochet turn on MJF. And again, he's
yeah,
still a heel in all of this situation. Like, it's not necessarily like Ricochet needs to turn face, but it's like, in that sense, you're like, oh, we now like MJF again, right? And it's like now you can get a triple threat match between Ricochet, Will Ospreay, and MJF for the international slash American championship at some point.
yeah.
So
I think it would be
that's how.
awesome to have like to go
Go
with
ahead.
your booking of no, I said it would be awesome to go with your booking of like Ricochet being on his side. I'm like, I just imagine him in a stars and stripes suit, like coming
Yeah.
out just matching MJF. Like if that would happen, I'd be like, oh, this son of a bitch, you already know, coming down with the stars and stripes on. What you think about I mean, I think Mercedes is gonna win this match. Yeah.
I called it. Yeah, I said it earlier. I think this is still
hmm
early for Britt to win it. I think she's has a bit of a kind of Cody Rhodes esque storyline to her winning the AEW Women's Championship back, and this is just, as Paul Heyman would say, we're probably in the first inning, second inning of this.
Yeah.
I do think Mercedes retains, and I do think in this case, like Mercedes is not the hottest as far as like act right now. Um, I think there is like a lot of like not I don't think the fans are really receiving her character as well as as they would like. But I do think there's still conversation that's being had around whether it be good or bad and whether people like how the character is coming off. Publicity is publicity, right? And
Yeah.
so I do think it's something that like even if people don't like how the Mercedes character is coming off right now, that's something that AEW can lean into as saying that like, hey, this is just going to make Brits win in the future that much more, you know, enjoyable when that moment actually does happen. So Mercedes wins right now. Camille's still a problem for Britt. She's gonna have to find her tall, big bodied, you know,
Mhm.
enforcer on her side, and then eventually we'll get the moment that we've been wanting to see, and that's an AEW original winning the title and bringing it back home to have an AEW fans. So not gonna happen tonight or this weekend, but it's going to happen at some point soon. Tony Storm, Mariah
Man, these are
May.
the yeah, no, these last two, like the actual world championship, these are the two best stories and the two best booked. Like this between all four of these competitors, like this is like S tier shit, in my opinion. Like
Yeah.
no swerve and um Danielson are gonna have a bang up match. And this is where I'm truly like 50-50, and I have no clue. Just because I feel like I'll just tell you what's going through my head right now is that this is where we've been building to, right? Like Tony Storm has been champion for a year, if not a year, then going on a year. She's at like 300 something days for sure.
Mhm.
Um, she took Mariah May under her wing when Mariah May was originally her biggest fan and just wanted to learn from her. And everything was going swimmingly up until, she betrayed her and like bloodied her up with a shoe, which was fucking awesome. And I think the timing of it, like just the timing of like a long term storytelling in general, I think this is like a very good time that you could like take the title off of her just for progression of the story. You know what I'm saying? This is where you led us to. So that's the only thing that makes me like, I guess, want to see Mariah May win. However, I fucking love Tony Storm. She's probably my favorite women's wrestler right now. Like as a character, and as long as she's been doing it, it's this is the toughest. Like I want to say, oh man, how many title changes do I have in here? I'm gonna re look at this again. Now we're up at the major one. So yeah, the major four. So we got two retentions. Ugh, Tony Storm.
I got one title change. I got two title changes actually. So
I got, oh yeah, Young Bucks retaining. I got House of Black. Mm. Well, I'm willing to believe that. I'm willing to believe that Mariah wins this. But this is also, I'll be happy either way because this is the best women's storyline that's even happening in wrestling. So, like,
yeah,
I really can't choose. But just because the story's been well, and I think she finally like flipped. Because if you have a rematch, it's not gonna have the same like gravitas, I suppose. But this is the issue with All In leading into All Out. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, all right, well, what happens for All Out? You know what I'm saying? Because it could very easily just be a DQ or something, or not a DQ, but like some type of schmozz finish, and then you end up getting a
yeah.
rematch at All Out. You know what I mean? So, but if I'm to believe that they're finishing this chapter of it right now, then Mariah May is winning.
It's a straight up singles match. I think if the way I process, I think I'm like, what was the overall point of this storyline? Like, what was AEW trying to get out of this for like each of these characters, right? Obviously, you're establishing a threat in Mariah May, but I think on the
Hmm.
other side for Tony, it's you kind of want to turn her face, right? If she wasn't already face. Again, this is my ignorance speaking, so correct me if I'm wrong.
Hmm.
But and I think you're doing that, you know. And I think in a sense, I think Tony can win this time, and maybe this gives Mariah May an opportunity to go back to the drawing board. And I was overconfident the first time, but now at All Out on this rematch, I'm gonna get you, and then maybe that's where she pulls it out. So I'm gonna go title retention, Tony Storm. And again, I think it worked out because it's like Tony is the face in this. right? And so
Hmm.
it's like
Yeah, she is.
let her be the face and win. She's not gonna lose turning face. You know what I'm saying? Like
Hmm.
she's gonna get at least one win out of it. So that's where my logic goes to.
Yeah, sure. And that's
Um,
where, like, my excitement for this whole angle, trying to invent a word,
yeah.
primodential or whatever the fuck it was, like, it just right now, I just feel like this is that perfect cross section of, like, if you wanted to, like, really establish Mariah. Like, I mean, personally, she is established already because of this storyline has been so good. Like, I recognize Mariah May now. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's a real
Yeah.
player. But like, the only question is, do you believe her holding the title? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's where I'm kind of like talking myself out of it, where it's like, I don't know where Mariah goes from there. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Because if she would win the title, then there's no way that, like, oh, she's just on to the next one. I wouldn't think so, unless Tony Storm was injured,
No,
because Tony
but
would be
she's a
coming back for
pretty
that. So
dominating threat, though. I mean, she's a dominating threat, so I think it is maybe a kind of
yeah.
like who can take me down. You know, kind of like a not Brock Lesnar aspect, but just someone
Hmm.
that's so physically intimidating. Like, have they had a women's champion as intimidating as her, like physically imposing as her?
Nyla Rose.
Yeah, different type, I guess.
Hmm.
Yeah,
I
like
mean,
that's more that's
Jade is the only other one for sure. For
well,
like,
she was a
Jade would be the
TBS
one.
champion, but she was
Yeah,
a
she was an
TBS
AEW
yeah.
champion. Yeah.
So, um, it's a different look. That's all I'm saying. Like, even like not just to dismiss anything with Nyla, but like Nyla, I would say it's more traditional in the sense of like the same way like the Big Show winning, I guess. Like
Hmm.
I guess the big like just because you're not hefty, but just because you're bulkier, I feel like that's still more traditional in a sense. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like these physically imposing people of like Jade Cargill or just super tall and muscular. Bianca is another one. It's like, man,
Hmm.
that's a different person. Rhea is a
Yeah,
different person. You know what I'm saying? Like to the entire roster.
yeah,
So that's where I think she gets it an all out. I
yeah.
think
I mean, you're probably right about that. That'll
yeah, it's
be
like what
where
do
it
we talk
should
about with
happen.
like
But
teams going to like teams going to the playoffs? It's like you got to get your experience. Tony's been there,
mhm.
done that. Mariah hasn't.
That's where I say that's where the issue is with me, where it has like, well, yeah, we got a pay per view just going into another pay per view. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's like hard to just
yeah,
see where it's going, knowing there's a part two coming like in 2 weeks. So
yeah. Understandable, understandable. I didn't see this on the Wikipedia list of matches, but on your Bleach Report update, it had this match on here, so I'm gonna add it in. Jack Perry, Darby Allen in a ladders match, I believe. Is it a ladders match? Let me
it's a
clarify.
coffin
Coffin
match.
match. Coffin
Coffin
match
match. Yeah, that's
for the
Darby's specialty.
TNT Championship match.
Hmm.
I'm going to go Jack Perry for the simple fact
Yep.
that, like, I feel like Darby's had the up for like the past few weeks. That I'm like the what is the executives called?
Yeah, the EVPs,
Yeah, what is their group called again?
the elite.
Yeah, the elite. Okay, yeah. So yeah, they're gonna help out Jack Perry. Like this is Darby Allin's gonna lose this match.
Yeah.
I think Darby's had a lot of good weeks that he's gotten over Jack. That I'm like now is the time for Jack to get his win. So it's not gonna. I don't think it's gonna be clean, but I think that's Jack finally gets his revenge over Darby Allin after weeks of being tormented by him.
Yeah, and also I just think, I mean, you bring it up the fact that, like, oh, I challenge you, like, quote unquote, like, to your specialty match. Like, that's confidence right there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like, he ain't sure Jack is ready for this. I think it'll be interesting, if anything, just like the match dynamics themselves, because like Jack's not the biggest guy, but Darby is always the smallest guy in the ring. So like just seeing Jack as a base, I think is gonna be interesting. I think this is gonna be like I think that could be. I think honestly that could be like a sneaky like steal the show kind of match right there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
It
got Jack
should
winning
be
for sure.
entertaining. Definitely should be entertaining. Finally, we get to the main event. Swerve Strickland versus Brian Danielson for the AEW World Championship. Is there any stipulations to this match? Don't think so.
Uh,
Nope.
if
Title versus
Brian
career.
Danielson loses, it's title
Yeah.
versus career. Yeah, that's the stipulation. So
Outside of that,
do
do
you
I
believe
believe?
that? Yeah, do you believe?
I said it last week. Swerve is going to do what he said this week. Exactly what he said this week on TNT, on Dynamite, is that he's going to end his career.
That's
Um,
exactly what.
Go ahead.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I thought I was interrupting you. But yeah, I was just saying, yeah, that's exactly what um I was leaning towards is that I really just want that rub for him. You know what I'm saying? Because as shitty as that sounds, like he's already like in his prime, Swerve and being AEW champion, but the thought of like I feel like it has to be this is a similar reign kind of like and or it's not it's a better reign than Damian Priest had, but I think critically it's being maybe looked down upon by fans somewhat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it took like even the Will Osprey, like he had to beat Will Osprey at the last pay per view for people to like shut up about that basically. Which that was interesting because I watched like an interview with Osprey and he was talking about that and he was like how it was like ridiculous that anybody was even talking about him have the AEW title and like Swerve is his guy also and it's like that's the best thing I can do right now. But I think there's Brian Danielson definitely has that in him. Like that dude, loves bleeds wrestling. Like he would definitely put somebody over on the way out the door. So now it's just if you believe if he's gonna move out the or go out the door or not.
Hmm.
Man. And on top of that, it's obvious I'm rooting for everybody black. Ain't no way he was gonna get me to say motherfucking Brian Danielson like right here, right now. So yeah, it's Swerve. Easy. That was an easy decision just based off, you know,
Yeah.
just based off that. So
All right. That is the AEW All In card predictions. We have how many different opinions? We differ on the the trios
Casino
match,
Gauntlet. Yeah.
the Casino Gauntlet, which again that's just kind of like picking a lottery ticket. We
Yeah.
differ on the tag team championship triple threat match. You have the Bucks, I have the Acclaimed. So that's three different, and then everything else. Oh, and Tony Storm and
And
Mariah
Mariah
May.
May, yeah. Which looking at
So
that, I'm like, damn, you're probably right about that. Like maybe Mariah gets it all out if they have like, a heel match. Like they can just only use heels
yeah,
busting each other side of the face.
I'm gonna call the Casino Gauntlet a tiebreaker because we don't know who's in the match. So we're
Yeah,
just
I'm
making
looking
like
at oh
justified guesses.
shit.
But right now
Oh man.
we have three opinions that we differ in. So at least there is going to be a decided winner for whoever comes out with the correct amount of opinions of.
Yeah. And obviously we don't know like every single like AEW person on the roster. So like I was just looking this up and I'm just looking at their roster page right now
Yeah.
because I feel like we should be like looking at it just to so you can have an educated guess. So I'm just gonna say some other names real quick if you want to change it. You know what I'm saying?
No,
Because obviously we just
it's
did this
already
off the
locked
cuff.
in. We done. We done. We got to
We
get to
still
these
on the
champions.
pod.
You should have did your homework. You should have did your homework if you wanted to do that.
Oh, I mean, I'm not afraid or anything. I'm just saying, but just hear me out. I won't change any, but just hear me out.
Okay.
Um, Kenny Omega. It's oh
Okay.
yeah, that's been a while. Forgot about him, right? Um, I already got Hangman up in here. Um, Konosuke Takeshita. I think Takeshita's that's a good shout right there. Um, oh no, Malachi's already in another match. Penta's in another
Really?
match, so can't say
Okay.
him. See, look, it wasn't even that strong. See, so even off the top, it was still like, but just those two, I'm like, oh yeah, that's a
Yeah.
I could believe that. So, but yeah, I definitely did it. Neither one of us did the homework. So
Jeff
just
Jarrett.
oh god, Samoa Joe, Samoa Joe, he's
Yeah.
still on here.
Yeah, he got taken out by Jericho. Remember when he drove him through the wall?
Oh
That
yeah, that's
cardboard
right.
that
Yeah,
cardboard
that's
wall.
right.
But let's get into the champions of the week.